Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. This is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, this is a message for you. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And as you can hear, my kiddo and husband and, are out in the other room playing. So you're going to hear them. And that is probably in almost every video. So I'm sure if you are returning, you are used to it by now. All right, let's see what we have going on. It's a little later in the day. So my lighting is a bit different. Let's see if we can make sure we don't have any. There we go. Perfect. What is that? Okay, let's see. So obviously we have this beautiful, very large, very dense heart. Okay. This is a really nice one. I have, I think a couple, I can't remember who it was for, but a couple readings ago, I had a really nice heart like this as well. So we've been lucky in the department of love. All right. So this heart in its placement, the top of it is reaching into the physical realm, the mundane, our daily lives, the people that we interact with in the physical. So this is definitely this is a realized relationship. This is somebody who is somehow, involved in your base reality. But really the bulk of this heart, and it's so dense, you can see, if I go on the side here, you can see the pile of tea leaves really collected here. And I think the tea leaves like to talk about love, because when we drink from these bowls or from the cups, you're lifting it this way, your mouth is here, and it flows towards you, right? So they like to form these love readings for us quite often. But anyways, so this middle part where there is a lot of density, the majority of the heart is placed in the mental, psychic, conscious, and internal dialogue zone, which is this kind of incline right here, right? The wall of the bowl. Okay. So, what does this mean? This means that this person has been on your mind a lot. Okay. You are thinking about this person. Is probably, obviously, the largest formation in the bowl, and therefore probably, most likely, the focus of your attention lately. You are really, really just, locked in on these thoughts. Okay. So I think that there's a certain intensity happening. Okay. And then we look at the tip here, the bottom tip, and that is reaching into this spiritual, metaphysical, the area where we would receive messages from our guardians, from our guardian angels, not our legal guardians, our ancestors and people who have passed, our loved ones, whoever is looking out for us who have passed and are sending messages. Okay. So I really think that this is a beautiful kind of love. This is an enduring kind of love. This is a relationship of some kind. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic. It could be varied. I was talking about in another reading the heart was in such a way that it seemed like the relationship could have been spanning many years, and therefore could have been changed over the years. It, started out as a friendship, developed into a relationship, and then maybe a marriage. Or maybe it was a relationship, a romantic relationship that dissolved, but the friendship there remained. Okay, and that happens too. Now, this one I think is more on the romantic side, just because of the amount of the leaves, and just that it's so thick in the middle there. I really think that this is somebody that your heart is on fire for. And I get the impression that this is a person that this is a reciprocated kind of love. This is both of you are putting in the effort to sustain this love, to feed this love, to grow within this love. Okay. And it seems like it's a very, very important coupling. Okay. So this is a central part of your life, at least right now. Okay. And let's see. We have, okay, so I feel like I haven't seen one of these in a while in my readings, and they're one of my favorites. It is the goose that is flying, and here's the head. I guess this could be a duck, but I'm thinking of a goose, okay? Either way, it doesn't super matter. The symbol for me in this posture, in this movement, is that this is a symbol of transition, of migration, movement within your life. There's something, and I'll say, because this one is headed towards the left, which I consider the past. Not always, but sometimes. Okay. But when it is in this flying motion, this is something in the past. This is going back. You're going back to something. That doesn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's contextual, right? So this is a thing that is in your mind that you keep returning to. I think that you are trying to make a decision if you are going to go back to that place that you were, if you're going to revisit it, if you're going to bring those things from your past into your present life. Obviously, we know that there's no way to go back to exactly how things used to be. That's impossible because time changes everything, right? All variables shift. Everybody changes in time. And just quite literally nothing stays the same. So in your mind, you might have this idea of what something is or what it was, and you have some emotional, psychic tie to it, right? And that's okay. We all kind of live in our memories at times, okay? Now, this is important, and the size of this is also pretty big. So this is going to have to be probably really thought over, a lot of pondering, thinking about weighing the pros and cons, about going back and bringing something into your current life, okay? We always have to kind of be careful about that because it's so often, I think we really romanticize these older things, right? And we have those kind of rose-colored lenses when we're looking back. We forget about the difficulties that go along with some of the things that we've been through. And just as a natural progression in life, sometimes we shed things, people, places, whatever it is, just out of necessity, out of a necessity to grow, out of a necessity to survive. And And sometimes things just change. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, you grow out of the routines and the people, the relationships, maybe a job, whatever it is, you sometimes just grow out of it. And that's just what happens. Okay. So whatever it is, I think that this is worth really taking you know, a little moment, a pause, and to really think about how you're going to go forward with this. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have going on here? I see a lot of there's a lot of movement, a lot of these kind of bird figures. Okay, so I really think that there's just been really a period of longing, I would say. I guess that's how I would put it, of longing for the past. Maybe before you had so many responsibilities or an old relationship. Maybe you are in a new job or a career path and it's more difficult than you imagined. Whatever it is, there's just kind of this real, a lot of thinking about the past. A lot. Okay, so... And again, I apologize. My kid is really just amped up. It's almost dinner time, so I don't blame her. Okay, so in the middle here, we have these beautiful little fish. Okay, and they remind me so much of the koi fish with the little tails and beautiful, and they're, you know, feathery and gorgeous. And as we know, these fish are a sign of vitality, of prosperity, longevity, just general wellness and abundance. Okay, and so we have a little grouping of them, and it really makes me think that in this most central place here in your current life right now, you have so many gifts. You've had so many blessings. Your life has come together maybe better than you ever imagined. Okay, maybe you never thought you would have a family, or you never thought you would do so well in any career, you know, that whatever career that you are in or work that you do. Maybe, you know, financially you've done better, or creatively, whatever it is. Okay, things have really come together. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing. My daughter's got her face against the fence over here, being silly. So I think that this is just, it's like a beautiful state. It's just, I imagine a serene pond with all these beautiful fish swimming around. And even so, there are still these moments, these quiet moments within you where you are really existing in this kind of longing for the old times. Okay, maybe before everything came together. Maybe, you know, sometimes, and it's interesting, and you have this love too. Let's not forget about this love here. I think that sometimes we can get more than we ever imagined. Everything can, the universe can give us so much, and we work so hard for all of it. And yet for some reason, we miss those times when we were struggling. And I think, honestly, you know, I don't think this is the case for everybody. It's not, you know, it can't be generally applied to every situation. But I think so often it's this, we had so much drive and purpose when we were starving, right? When we really needed to get things together, there was just something, some energy that, you know, really was our drive. And we had dreams and hopes and, you know, aspirations that had never been realized. So when you start to really, everything starts to line up for you, it's easy to It's easy to not be in the moment and to still be in this kind of anxious survival mode, but also to, when that starts to go away, to also miss that feeling because it feels kind of like the norm, right? So it makes sense. It makes sense that sometimes, you know, you where people would say you have everything you want, why are you not happy with it? Okay, so this might be a little choppy, this video. We've had to make some stops here just to settle down a bit. Okay, so where are we? We've done the fish, okay, and now I want to look at this silly looking, it looks really so much like, it reminds me of a goose just having a fit, okay? And it looks like it's honking. This is its neck, and this is its head, and this is the body, and it's stomping its feet, and maybe this is a wing, okay? And it's just honking, 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 okay? And I think that it's just, it almost feels silly, you know, it might feel silly to somebody else, okay? And I understand this because, listen, I get it. You know, you just, from somebody looking from the outside looking in, it looks like everything is kind of just perfect, okay? And but there's still something that is not settled within you, right? And so I think that there's almost this like you have moments of just really snapping out, like just anger, but it's not like violence. I don't think this is like you're like a violent person, okay? I think it's just like your head feels like it's gonna explode once in a while, and you just have almost these tantrums, okay? And I think that really has so much to do, it's like a blockage, okay? It's like you haven't found the way, you haven't found a way to clear that energy. You haven't found a way to express it right now, okay? There have maybe been other times in your life where, you know, you were creating, you're maybe making art, music, through going to school. Maybe you were in college or early in your career, and you put all of yourself into that. Well, now you have more things going on. There are more responsibilities, but your life is coming together in like in a more whole way, right? But there's more responsibilities, there's more stress, there's less opportunities to really express yourself the way that you maybe want to. Maybe you don't have enough time for just you. Maybe you feel, and this is something that I think is true for a lot of people, is the older that you get, you have less and less people to talk to, honestly, openly. And even when you get older and older, you start losing the people who have known you for your whole life, okay? Sometimes we end up looking around us and everybody who has known anything about you, really, they're all gone. And that can really, I mean, that's very lonely. That can really cause some of these big feelings to be coming up and just, you know, all over the place. But I think also when you are in the middle of your life, you're in the later parts of your adulthood, you're so busy, okay? And people just expect you to know how to deal with things. And they're also, you know, you get to a point where when you connect with people, a lot of times, you know, it's like, hi, how are you doing? How's your day? And nobody really wants to hear, how is your day? How are you? Right? It's like, it's almost kind of like offensive if somebody like stops and really tells you, okay? I remember a few years ago, I had a neighbor who I, at that time, didn't know very well. And I was passing him on the stairs, going downstairs from my apartment. And I said, oh, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And he said, oh, not good. It's, I'm struggling, basically. I don't remember exactly, but he said, no, not good. I'm struggling. And I stopped and I thought, okay, is there anything I can do? And, that was just kind of the little, and he said, no, it's just the way things are. And, he was in his 60s. We're still friends. I've moved since, and, we send cards and stuff to each other. But, I remember it stands out to me because not very many people in life just say that to you, right? Especially in passing. And so I think that oftentimes if you were to say something like that to somebody, most people would be kind of like, why would you say that? And like, why are you putting that kind of emotional labor, making me do that emotional labor and this kind of thing, right? But I think what happens is that you become so isolated because it's just a bunch of interactions that really are so surface level and so superficial that it just feels like you never actually connect with anybody. And we can go through life for weeks and months and years with those kinds of interactions, just depending on, if you're close with your family or you have close friends or whatever. And maybe you don't, it's not hard to not have people to talk to. I understand that. I've had points in my life where I really did not. So I get that it can be very isolating, and this kind of just, energy swells up in you. And I think it just, I feel that there are moments where you just feel like losing it. Okay. And I think that I just want to say that I hear you and I see you, because the rest of the bowl so far looks like it's just everything's like, hunky dory and, whatever. And everybody would be so, they would do anything to have what you have. But you still have these kind of negative experiences, negative feelings, difficult feelings, deep feelings of loneliness. Okay. I think that, but it's hard to tell people that or talk to people about that when everything else looks good. They don't want to hear that from you. You already have everything, right? So I understand how that can feel really alienating. Okay. And if you watch my videos, I'm sure at one point or another, I always do mention, if you have the privilege and ability to get to counseling, therapy, some kind of support group, any of those kinds of things are amazing if you are able to, utilize that. Okay. And I'm not telling anybody you need to be in therapy, but I also think everybody, especially if you can afford it, should do therapy at least once in their life. Okay. I think it is beneficial to everybody. But if you are feeling very alone, especially when everything else seems to be going good, there's sometimes more pressure on people like that because they don't feel like they have the right to complain, or people don't take them seriously because the other people think, oh, you have everything. So go and find somebody who you can trust, who you can talk to. Another resource is the 988 if you're having an emergency, mental health emergency. It is a resource for people who, if something's going on and you need that kind of thing. That is there, and it should be used if you need it, for sure. There's no shame in that. We all need help sometimes. Okay. And I just see this other beautiful fish, and this one's going up here into into that kind of spiritual metaphysical realm again. And I hate to just go from that other conversation to this. I just really feel like you just have such an abundance. And honestly, I feel like you really have come into some really good health recently. And you're health focused, okay? So whatever you're doing, keep it up, okay? Keep exercising, keep eating the way, whatever it is that is specific to you that you need, do that, okay? It looks like it's really working out, okay? And that will help. That's the base of everything, right? It will help you. And that's the message I need, because we're just coming off of these holidays here. And although I will say we did so much better this year with our meals and the desserts and that kind of thing. Last year I totally gained weight. This year I didn't. Not that weight gain is a measurement of anything. I'm very, I'm a robust lady. So I'm not, I have no guilt about that, I guess. I don't know. But I will say that if you're not feeling well and you're eating, incorrectly, which I had been doing, I wasn't feeling good last year, but this year I did pretty good. Okay. I didn't overindulge too much, and I'm actually very happy about that. Okay. Now, enough about about me here. Okay, so we have this nice, I just really see this beautiful connection going on too. I feel like there's really been an alignment through your thinking and your spiritual. You've been focused on it. You've been doing interior work. I feel like maybe something like meditation, yoga, tantric stuff, whatever, breathing, whatever it is, it's going from the physical through the mind, the consciousness, the psychic into the spiritual, okay, and the higher. Like, I feel like it's so connected. Everything is pouring up and down evenly. It's very evident. Okay, I don't feel like you're feeling lost spiritually, okay? I just feel like there's just some amount of, I don't know, just like not feeling fulfilled by everything. And I wonder, and I'm going to bring this one up here. We have the 4, and this is upside down. We have the 4 of Swords, okay? So this is in the Thoth deck, is called the Truth. Okay, so what does that mean? We have the end of some kind of warring thing. We have the end of old things coming to a conclusion, a settlement, a compromise. There's peace in the land, right? So maybe part of this looking back is about deading some of those old dramas, some of those old feelings, making up, putting those ill feelings to rest, being able to move forward because that stuff is cleared out of the psyche. There's no more guilt, no more shame, no more what ifs. Okay. And it's just kind of, it melts away, and we can go on, we can breathe, knowing that this stuff is not, we don't have to carry it anymore, right? And that's so important. I think that's very important. So I feel like some of that is this. And that's kind of what maybe is keeping you from being able to enjoy what you have now, okay? I think it's definitely part of that. I also feel like it is the sense of isolation. Okay, there's some degree of isolation, and I feel like there's something just about like not being able to like fully be yourself, okay, or express yourself, be authentic, and maybe some of your nature is to just be melancholy. I mean, you are a Cancer, you're a watery person, a water sign. So maybe you are more of a melancholy person, a sensitive person. And no matter how well things are going, you're always going to have a degree of, just kind of, well, I wouldn't say it's just sadness, but it's, your highs aren't as high, maybe. Okay. And maybe your contentment doesn't look like other people's contentment. Okay. And that's okay. But I think that there is definitely that element of the alienation, loneliness. And I think that's so important to figure out what you need to do with that, because that can be just, it can be almost traumatizing in itself. Okay. Even if you're a solitary person by nature, there are times you can be alone and not feel lonely. You can be with a lot of people, have a family, be close, to people that work with, whatever, and still feel very alone or not alone, feel very lonely. Okay. So, that could totally be the case too. Okay. So now I'm going to take a look at this. Gotta hurry up. My cat is waking up. Last time he woke up and got on the table, he knocked over one of my things of tea here. Okay, so I see this beautiful little blooming flower. All right. And I'm looking at this above here. Oh no, don't you dare put your tail on there. I'm trying to read this. Okay, so this blooming flower, and above that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in the next 3 weeks, I would say, in the next 3 weeks, there's important communication coming. Okay, there's an element of communication. I think after that, in the next so altogether 5 weeks, 2 weeks after that, I think everything is going to kind of finish itself. There's going to be a conclusion to some of this old stuff. And I think that you're going to get out of this headspace of, of lamenting or wondering or, whatever, questioning. I think that and then the circle kind of fills itself. It closes and we're moving on. We have this beautiful kind of more solar energy coming in. We have the blooming flower. Okay, so there is some good life coming back and we're going to get out of this funky state. Okay, and that's all coming up in the next, at least I would say in the next month. Okay, so that's something really to look forward to. And I think that, it's just, it really is a matter of kind of really figuring out what you need to do. If there's something there's some kind of blockage, if you need to have a conversation with somebody, if you need to go see a therapist, like I had said, or find some other support, or, just, I guess, implementing something new, some kind of something for yourself, okay? Something that's just for you. Something that is going to, you don't have to share with anybody else. It doesn't have anything to do with your success, your work, with your family, relationships, anything like that. I think that's also, it could be very healing for you right now, Cancer. I think, Cancers usually, anyways, so why am I putting that over there? That was from my other reading. Cancers are people that need to do a lot of things for themselves, okay? And I don't think it is uncommon for you all to really need a lot of you time. And when you're a busy person, there's not a lot of time for that, especially if you are living in a family situation. Okay. So, yeah, I think, but you know what? The good news is you have a lot of love. You have a lot of beautiful things going on. And I think you're going to be pretty okay pretty soon here. I think it's just shifting those focuses for you. And now I'm going to hurry up before my cat just like destroys everything with his tail. Okay, so that's your reading today, Cancer. Thank you for watching the reading. Thank you for clicking on the video. If you would be so kind and to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm. If you would go ahead and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you'd leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing from each and every person that leaves a little message. It makes my day. And other than that, what do I have? Oh, if you want to find me on Facebook, there's I have a page on there. It's Ula Tea Leaf Readings. If you're interested in a private reading, I swear it will be less chaotic than this. We have just had a weird couple of days here. I think it's just like we're getting into that like cabin fever zone, you know? So it's like everybody's just talking louder. The house is louder. There's so much, you know, unspent energy bouncing around, and hoy vey, you know, it just gets to you. So anyways, if you're interested in a private reading, in the description, there are instructions how to book one. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, Cancer. We will see you again in about 12 days. All right. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye.